what was your vision for the Assistant CIO program?
Well, the Assistant CIO program actually came about a little bit by accident. We did a peer review for the College of Veterinary Medicine, and at the end of that review, the dean said, "But how can we communicate better with you?" And that really was the moment that I started thinking about the Assistant CIO program. We call it the ACIO program, and thinking that we're too large of a university to even think about centralizing. And in spite of the fact that we have a really well-functioning IT governance program that includes faculty, staff, administrators, and students, there still was something missing in all of this. And so I had this glimmer of an idea that if I could have a group of people who simultaneously reported into a college or a business unit or a research unit, but part of their time they reported to me, wouldn't that be a way to increase our level of engagement and communication and also transparency about what we're doing? So really there were three goals. It was that idea of engagement and communication, 2, increasing the trust between us, and 3, really about not surprising the deans, because one thing that you don't like to do in higher education is surprise a dean. So with those 3 visions or goals in mind, that's really how the ACIO program got started. And I think in a few minutes, you're going to hear from the ACIOs how it's working out for them.
So Chrissy, what type of collaboration has been enabled by this Assistant CIO program?
Well, I can tell you, being an ACIO, I've really had the opportunity to influence change and decision-making and policy and things like that all over campus, including testing different software, making recommendations, and really just supporting central IT. Another example of what we did during the COVID pandemic is that we brought up an application called Aporta. It was virtual desktops for students to be able to work from home if they didn't have a laptop of their own. A nice thing was that Central IT actually opened up all the firewalls that we need, all the ports, helped us install the software, made sure that we were in a position where we offered this to the students quickly, but also the faculty so they can teach. You know, part of the solution allowed us to be able to run those very robust applications that the students needed to be able to render on that platform. And that was amazing. There was also a point where I needed to actually purchase some more Bongar licenses. Central IT, I had those within 24 hours. That helped me tremendously make sure that I got exactly what I needed to support the faculty as well as the students. Right. It was so engaging and important for us to be able to do that. Part of the collaboration that I've also had with this ACIO program is there's been times where, so we have an advisory council on campus. We call it ITAC. And so part of ITAC is that the ACIOs attend this. I am the chair of ITAC. Well, all the other IT directors on campus are coming to this meeting. So I'm understanding exactly what they're needing from their shops, from their IT shops, what they're struggling with, what they need, the granularity they need with different applications that they're releasing in their environment, and take that back to Central IT. If I can help Central IT understand the way the colleges are using the applications and what they need from their perspective, then it's working really, really well. This is a very well put together puzzle that allows us to work in a collaborative manner that's actually very useful and effective.
You said something earlier about engaging with the policy development. Is that something that you think has been improved through the efforts of this ACIO program?
Absolutely. So part of it is, me and my team, I have positioned somebody from my team to actually sit on one of those university level committees that looks at all the policies before they're even released to the university. It's been really helpful because my team members have looked at the wording and tailored it just a tad, so that way when the colleges or the divisions get it, it's something they can actually work with. It's something that is going to work for them. It's something that they're not going to be surprised about, how am I going to implement this thing? It's kind of like the eyes and the ears and the opportunity to be able to influence the change, thinking of the different colleges and divisions, on campus. Central IT has been such a huge, impactful, very well organized IT shop. And us just being an ACIO, for all my colleagues, it's been a great experience.
So Darvis, what attracted you to the ACIO program? What made you want to be a part of it?
So there are actually many things about the ACIO program that make it very attractive and something I wanted to be a part of. As ACIOs, we work directly with the Chief Information Officer of the university to support and advise her as she formulates her vision. Being on the CIO's extended leadership team puts ACIOs in a position to be the formal liaison between our respective organizational units and central IT. This gives voice to our departments. It increases transparency in central IT and potentially reduces any angst or pushback when changes are being implemented. Sometimes when you have separate IT shops in a large organization like Texas A&M University, there can be a disconnect when decisions are made without the full picture of the diversity and IT within the university. And this ACIO program really helps address that issue. Another thing that I find appealing is that since this is a relatively new program, we've been given the green light to really work to continue to define the role and make sure that we give the best value to the Chief Information Officer. And we really go about the program with fidelity. As ACIOs, we work to ensure that IT strategies and initiatives are not only in line with the mission of the university, but also meet the unique needs of the departments and colleges that we serve. As a peer group, we collaborate on basically everything. We discuss unique issues we're dealing with, we share goals, we bounce ideas off of each other. We talk about our priorities, emerging technologies, and we document best practices. We're always evaluating our processes and how we go about things to ensure that we provide effective and efficient service throughout the university. For those individuals that aspire to lead a technology organization as Chief Information Officer, the ACIO role creates an additional step in your career path to achieve your goal. And I can definitely say that I truly believe that the ACIO program is already a success at Texas A&M.
Chris, how has the Assistant CIO Program positively impacted the College of Vet Medicine?
Sure. So the ACIO program has given the College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences the ability to interface directly with central IT leadership. This has led to an improved level of communication and direct input into the strategic direction of IT. During the first year of the program, the ACIOs have participated in key central IT activities such as strategic retreats, served on search committees for important IT leadership positions, as well as represented central IT and our colleges at meetings and events. A great example of this relationship is after the COVID stay-at-home order hit, our animal hospital had to shut down normal operations for a while, but we still needed to have a way to treat the emergency cases that came in. So our veterinary emergency team set up a triage area outside the hospital where people could come in their cars, they would never get out of their car and the animals could be treated. But they did not have a way to enter that patient info directly into the electronic health record. So we made one phone call to the networking group within Central IT, and in a matter of hours, they had an entire outdoor Wi-Fi network set up for them to use. And they would have obviously done that for any department within the college, but I believe that relationship that we had built with them enabled them to understand the urgency of it and react much more quickly.
So from your perspective, you think that the ACIO program has helped to build trust between the college and the central IT group?
Absolutely. I serve on the leadership team at the college as well, obviously, and I was able to notice just within the first few months there was more of a trusting and relaxed attitude towards Central IT. It wasn't any more of a Central IT is pushing these things down, making us take away admin access and those types of things. It was more of a, we understand why they're doing that, help us understand, please relay this information back to them and just help us, work better together.
Dee, from your perspective, what would you say is the biggest benefit to the university as you've developed this Assistant CIO program?
Well, Adam, there's been a number of benefits, some of them quite surprising and surprising in the good way. The first surprise is just the kind of friendships that have developed between the ACIOs and myself, and the kind of interactions that they're also having with their peers around the university. It's creating a lot more conversations that perhaps didn't happen before. And I think in terms of the university, for the research mission of the university, for the scholarship and teaching and learning mission of the university, for the business mission of the university, all of these things are being amplified and enhanced because we're taking out a lot of guesswork and we're closing the communication gap that before often resulted in us misguessing or taking some steps and then having to backtrack on those steps, whereas now we're in constant communication with the colleges and they're in communication with their deans. So as I said in the beginning, never surprise a dean. I think we've closed those communication gaps. We have a much higher level of trust and engagement. So in addition to our IT governance program, we've really just become kind of a holistic organization moving forward instead of central IT versus the units.